To set the tone here, let's go back.
History lesson.
History lesson. 40 years ago, The Guardian released an ad itself that was really incredible, that was all about points of view. And we could show the ad, I believe. We can show this 40 years ago, this ad released by BMP
Let's
DDB.
just play it. Let's go full screen. Let's just play it.
Yes,
and
let's
let
just
people
play
enjoy it because it's actually pretty. It's also a sign of the times.
An event seen from one point of view gives one impression. Seen from another point of view, it gives quite a different impression. But it's only when you get the whole picture you can fully understand what's going on.
So clean. Seventh best ad.
You don't need music. You don't need really sound production.
No.
You don't need any sort of real color filtering, editing at all. You just need a good idea, Gino.
That's right. It's a good idea there. And then
Can you imagine trying to make that ad today? How many people would be like, why aren't we playing Bon Jovi?
where's the explosions?
Yeah, where's like the cutscene?
Yeah, right.
Why is the logo not more visible? Also, this should be 3 minutes long.
Yes.
Why is this commercial only 30 seconds? Also, Matthew McConaughey should be the lead.
Throw in Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney witnesses it.
That's right.
But, I mean, there's so many things that are wrong with how we did advertising in the 80s. I'm just kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
But 40 years later, they pretty much like recreated the ad.
That's right. On the 40th, I think it's also like one of the 200-year anniversary of The Guardian.
Yeah.
Like super old here. And I think we can show that new ad. They revisited it. Lucky Generals made it. Let's show them the latest and
Yeah, we'll
greatest
see.
one.
We'll see if we get to it. Though I'll pause. I'll stall so that Ross can pull it up. But the new ad is using the same actress. It's the same actress.
Seen from one point.
So I think people are seeing it now, right, Ross? Are people seeing it now? Yeah.
Cool.
Seen from another point of view, it gives quite a different impression. But it's only when you get the whole picture you can fully understand what's going on.
Hang on, go back a bit. There. See that girl? That's me. A much younger Kathy Burke. It's funny. 40 years on, here I am again. And it's now even harder to know what news to trust. I mean, what's going on in the world? I just want the truth told by real people. Not an AI robot or some dodgy billionaire. Because now, more than ever, it's important we see the whole picture to fully understand what's going on.
Yeah, so that's that. So new ad, you play off of it. Pretty interesting because like it kind of looked like they did some voice modulation there to go from narrator to her talking. Did you notice that?
I didn't.
Where they're like, look, that's me. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And then it's like her talking and it's just not the same. So they kind of took like the narrator's voice and tried to make it seem like it was her voice the whole time.
Good
Which like,
detail catch.
did it land? I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. They kind of noticed that. And then you get the lady back and she's talking about AI bots.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I think this works, because they could have easily messed this up and upset people. But they have the same lady, of course, to bring her back 40 years later, and the same director, same location 40 years later. There's continuity to it. They didn't try to reinvent it too much. That's why I was a big fan of this here. And the message is really consistent. Like, you need the whole picture, fragmented media today. You got to see all sides. So that's why I was a fan of this. Shout out to Lucky Generals, Andy Nairn, who's been on the podcast years ago.
To me, like, I don't know if we needed like the AI pushback and like the targeted, pointed, like kind of defense, combative nature of it was like, to me, it didn't feel as timeless as the 40-year-old ad did, because the 40-year-old ad wasn't like, we don't need what was happening in the 80s, like the Cold War. We don't worry about what the communists are doing. Like it kept it very very real and timeless in the sense that like having the full picture and full point of view that's why that is just as relevant. Like this ad, they go kind of like particular about AI or what was the thing they said about or someone online.
Like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, at Jeff Bezos owning, like they took a shot at another competitor, which to me, like maybe it'll work and it's like an effective campaign from that point of view, but it's not the same. It doesn't really reflect the things that made the 40-year-old ad as good as it was.
Yeah, so your argument is a little too on the nose, but this is different. Like it's a reinvention of the old ad.
They took a timeless ad and made it timely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I mean, that was a money bar.
that was Barr. That was like when the Bowen guy, Bowen at the gala, when he was like, "I'd rather go heart to heart than head to head."
The only people that will understand that is me and you. No one else.
Yeah,
has
but I
any
just said
idea
it.
what
I
you're
just
talking
said the
about.
line though.
What do you say?
I'd rather
Who
go
said
head
it?
to head than heart to heart. The CEO, the founder of McGarry Bowen. Like that's just a bar that you don't need to be there to know what that hits.
Yeah, the Guardian, the idea of like newspapers and legacy media companies, leaning into the marketing and branding and campaigns right now feels relevant. The last year and a half, you've just seen like the New York Times. What's the other one? What was the one where it was like fill in the blank? Was that the Atlantic or was that the Guardian as well? I think it might have been the Guardian. Time Magazine, Ross is pulling up. These legacy media companies kind of trying to solidify their place in culture in a time when a lot of people are losing trust in legacy media and people are like calling for the end of it. I think people look at something like us as like a new media kind of thing, and these legacy media big brand names are trying to maintain relevance, which I think like they're doing a good job of. I think there's never been a bigger need for journalism that you can rely on in like real reporting and like fact-based journalism where you're confirming reports and you're doing all of that, because there's just an innumerable amount of people that can weigh in and like try to pawn things off as truth but aren't actually doing any reporting. So I think it's a good time for something like this, and I think all these legacy brands are trying to lean into facts, truth, not what's the word I'm looking for? Not
Opinion?
No, opinion is good too, but like not misleading people or clickbaiting people, which you see a lot of on social media.
I think Goots, who has her own publication, put it really nicely.
Byline. Goots Guterman, who runs Byline.
Byline, yes. She was basically saying that the smaller media outlets and the smaller independent publishers are growing, and then the larger are getting larger as well, and the medium media outlets are struggling now. So the fact of like the Guardian, New York Times solidifying their campaigns and their brand positioning on the larger side is a smart play, because we're seeing so many more new independent shops show up left and right that are also gaining momentum.
Yeah, the middle ground is kind of like you're dark. Because I honestly like the New York Times has been doing amazing. I think the Wall Street Journal has been doing amazing, and those are two of the top dogs. And they have done an amazing job of reinventing and modernizing how they do their reporting. And they're just taking all of the things that work and repackaging them in ways to keep up with consumer preferences. It's like a tale as old as time. But they have such great legacy, trustworthy brands. Like if you go and read something at the Wall Street Journal, if I see frickin' Megan Graham reporting about the CMOs of the day, I know it's a fact. I know it's truthful, and that's not necessarily the case when it comes from me, the individual.
Right.
Like me, Jack, posting online about something just inherently doesn't have the same credibility that it does when it comes from an institution like the Wall Street Journal. For sure. And so if you're the Wall Street Journal or you're the Guardian in this case, remind people of that. Lean in all the way. And like I like that this ad is timely, but I think that like they're above like we all know like Jeff Bezos owning the Washington Post is a fucking joke. Like I don't know if we necessarily need to be reminded of that. I want to be reminded that the Guardian is given that point of view. And you could argue that they did do that in the beginning by just replaying the ad. But I think this is like the positioning that you'd want these legacy media brands to take the higher ground.
For sure. I mean, it's a good take. It's a good take. The only thing I was going to mention earlier on. I'm not going to comment on. I don't really have the opinion on that. I was just going to say, Bloomberg also. Great campaign came from them. More of a broader positioning.
When you're taking in your news diet, is there a percentage or a weight that you go when it comes to looking at legacy, traditional journalism, scrolling the feed, And then is there anything in between?
I mean, I'm looking at the ad trades first. Like that's because I trust them as well. Like I put the same amount of weight as in the Guardian as I do Ad Age and Ad Week, and Campaign and Digiday and the Drum, all of those.
Do you think we're going to see an Ad Age or Ad Week campaign drop anytime soon?
I don't know.
Brand campaign
That's not a bad
positioning? Have they
idea.
ever done that? Does Ad Age or Ad Week even have a
They
slogan
did a
or
rebrand.
tagline?
I know Advertising Age rebranded not too long ago to Ad Age.
Why
But
don't they
I
have
don't know
like?
if they
Do
have.
any of these publications have like taglines or slogans?
I don't know. Not top of mind.
I mean, it's time to start. Breaking and Entering doesn't even have a slogan. We need to start thinking about that, Gino. Ross, new assignment for you. Breaking and Entering tagline.
Let us know in the comments.
Fast and fun marketing news is like kind of what we just adopted for the Instagram bio, but
Yeah.
we could lean into that. We can figure that out. That was the top story. The Guardian OG ad is back, you know. The Guardian, it's a classic one. Watching that commercial from the 80s is such a time capsule.
Yeah.
How simple it was. Where did that run? Did it run on like TV?
Oh, I'm
It
sure.
had- I
I'm
guess
sure.
that's the only
Yeah.
place it could run,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Just
TV or like a movie theater maybe?
Not short form. They did not make a short form social series.
Yeah,
in
how
in
this needs to be.
86.
What they should have done, The Guardian, is redo this as a short form
Yeah.
social series, TV show style. Get a couple of influencers. What would you do kind of vibe?